𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲, a girl who just turned 18, receives a key to an old warehouse as a gift. There, Hime will discover what her father has been doing all these years since he kept his profession a secret from her. Turns out, her father is Kakushigoto, a mangaka who has gained fame writing adult manga with vulgar jokes. Worried that his daughter will be ashamed of him or despise him if she should find out what he really does for a living, Kakushi tries to hide his profession. To keep the secret from Hime, Kakushi tries to pretend he has an average life, wearing formal clothes whenever he leaves the house. However, upon getting to his actual job, he switches to a more comfortable style. Kakushi writes his manga with the help of his assistant, Aogo Shiji, and his editors, Rasuna, Kakeru, Ami, and Satsuki. These are the only people he can vent to about his concern about Hime finding out about his profession. On her side, Hime at 10 years old has a group of friends at her school who constantly ask her what her dad does for a living. She always tells them she doesn't know his occupation, although Hime mentions that she's curious about it. Meanwhile, Kakushi is looking for a way to be known for other than his vulgar manga, so he sets out to create a new, clean, appropriate manga. Kakushi goes to a festival with Hime. At home, they start printing the photos they took together at the festival. Hime, seeing the images, asks her father if he sewed the dress she was wearing, and Kakushi is speechless. At that moment, Hime gets up, opens the closet, and shows her several boxes with different ages written on them, from 1 to 16. She tells him that she opened box number 10, since that is her age, and she found the dress there. Back in the present, the now 18-year-old Hime is in the warehouse where her father hides all of the manga manuscripts. She begins to see them and realizes that this was the secret her father was hiding. Hime also discovers a cabinet with boxes marked from 17 to 20 written on them, a continuation of a similar set of numbered boxes she had when she was small. Hime realizes that the boxes she found are just like the ones she had seen at home when she was a child. After looking around more, Hime realizes that the storage place is very similar to the house in which she lived with her father back in Nakameguro. Hime realizes that it was her missing mother who left the boxes with different ages for her. A 10-year-old Hime invites her friends to hang out with her. When they arrive and see the house, they make fun of her because it's old and tell her that only poor people live in these types of places. Hearing this, Hime begins to believe that her father is poor since she doesn't know what kind of salary her father has. After thinking about it, Hime tries to help him with the housework to avoid expenses such as hiring a maid. This makes Kakushi ponder that if he were to lose his fame, he might become poor. Therefore, he tries to put more effort into his work and buys better tools to make his manga. Kakushi also begins to think that the lack of a mother makes his daughter feel lonely and devises a plan to try to be a better father. Kakushi starts taking cooking classes and training to participate in a sports festival at his daughter's school. Kakushi arrives home and finds 10-year-old Hime with a book that she uses to tell fortunes. She starts reading hers and her dad's names, telling him many positive things about everything except her work. Kakushi feels concerned about this and expresses it to his friends. Hime tells Kakushi when he gets home that some spirits appeared to her. 𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲, Kakushi's housekeeper, claims to have seen them as well and tells Kakushi that she was a guardian spirit protecting them. Kakushi thought that said spirit was probably his wife. Hime tells her dad that she has to draw a picture for school. Kakushi wants to help her, but at the same time, he knows that it would not be correct to do the task for her since it's Hime who must test her talent. So they go to the zoo so she can draw some animals. Hime draws a picture of her sitting in the zoo with her dad. Kakushi frames it and puts it on the wall, as it brings back memories of when Hime was a baby, and together with his wife, they went to the zoo. Kakushi's assigned publishing editor, Satsuki Tamuruin, informs Kakushi that he has to judge a rookie manga contest. Kakushi feels insecure as he doesn't know if he's good at giving criticism, but after some practice becomes more confident, realizing that he's a good critic. Thus, packages begin to arrive at Kakushi's house containing different manga, which he reviews. Kakushi is frustrated at home since he has to finish a manga in such a short time. Tamuruin reserves a room for Kakushi in a comfortable hotel so that he can have peace and finish his work on time. Kakushi is worried about spending the night there and leaving Hime alone, but Tamuruin offers to take care of her, which calms him down. 18-year-old Hime is in the warehouse looking at the boxes from numbers 17 to 20. She notices that the handwriting on the boxes are her father's and deduces that he left them for her, to continue from the ones her mother left. Hime receives a backpack as a gift every year from a mysterious person. On the other hand, Kakushi feels pressured because he has a lot of work and isn't sure his results are the best. Kakushi expresses his concern to his colleagues, and together they try to have a positive attitude and finish their work. Kakushi has to attend an autograph signing while also going with Hime to Kidzania, where children's activities are held. Fortunately, both events are located in the same building, so Kakushi can be with his daughter and sign autographs while his assistant keeps an eye on Hime. At the autograph signing, Kakushi feels somewhat insecure, wondering if there are people who admire him and want his autograph. But, to his surprise, many fans arrive, making Kakushi feel very happy and proud of his work. Back to the present, 18-year-old Hime checks the boxes that her father left her and opens number 17. Inside, she sees that there is a manga that tells a story about a happy family. Hime feels a little sad after reading it. Hime wants to adopt a dog and lets her father know. Kakushi thinks it would be a good idea, so she won't get lonely, so he goes out to find one, but the dog shelters are all out of dogs. Kakushi rushes out to get a dog as he meets the mysterious person who then gives Kakushi a puppy for Hime. He takes it home, making the little girl happy. Kakushi sees that his assistant brought a painting from the warehouse. After seeing it, his coworkers ask him if the girl who appears there painted next to the puppy is Hime. Kakushi replies that this was Hime's mother when she was a child, and that it was Hime's grandfather who painted her. Kakushi also tells them that he was the one who gave them the new puppy. After this, Kakushi's coworkers realize that the mysterious person who has been giving Hime gifts is actually her grandfather. Hime's friends, who have been secretly following her on her visit to Kakushi's warehouse, meet with her old school teacher, 𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲. She tells them that she must give the news to Hime and joins her friends to keep following her. Kakushi heads to his storage to return the painting that was brought to the office. There, he sees another painting made by Hime's mother instead, in which a couple appears together with their daughter. Seeing it, Kakushi gets sad and leaves the place. Hime receives an invitation to a birthday party, but worries that she'll have to return the invitation later. She thinks her father doesn't have the resources to throw her a birthday party. Learning of his daughter's concern, Kakushi assures Hime that it's alright and says that he'll do everything he can to prepare for Hime's upcoming birthday party. 18-year-old Hime continues to look around the place and keeps thinking it's way too similar to the house they lived in before. The only difference is that this place faces the ocean. Looking at the wall, she sees the couple's painting and understands that this was the house where she was originally going to live with her parents. Nearby, Kakushi's past co-workers commented that he did not want to live in the house facing the ocean. It made him sad to stay in the home where he was going to live with his wife, but also couldn't fully let go of it. So Kakushi built one just like it in 𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲, leaving his old house facing the ocean as a sort of warehouse. Kakushi is excited because New Year's is approaching and he'll be able to take some time off for the holidays. He's motivated since a party is coming soon, which he can attend with Hime and his friends. Kakushi is relaxed since the party is from another manga publisher, and the workers won't recognize him as a mangaka. This way, he can have a pleasant time with Hime without fear of discovering his profession. However, at the party, his assistant drops his business card, on which he mentions their publisher. The other guests, seeing that they belong to a different publisher, think they want to steal and recruit their artist. Kakushi clears things up with them and continues to enjoy himself with Hime, promising himself that he'll never let her find out that he's a mangaka. Kakushi and his coworkers must finish the manga before the deadline to have more time to enjoy the holidays. Kakushi goes for a walk with Hime and her puppy. They see a lottery stall, and Hime tells her dad that she wants to play. She participates and wins a trip to the hot springs. Kakushi goes to the hot springs with Hime, and when he arrives at the place, he observes that it's lovely and comfortable, but a bit mysterious. Kakushi discovers that one of the rooms in the hot springs is actually haunted, and the ghost of a famous author supposedly appears there every night. Naturally, this scares him a bit, but he's curious about what it feels like to be a famous author, so Kakushi tries to draw on his table in the haunted room at night with no one around. Coincidentally, a few kids see him inside the room and think that he's the author's ghost that haunts the room. The next day, Kakushi wakes up as Hime tells him of a rumor about ghosts from the next room. 18-year-old Hime remembers a day when her father comes home and tells her that he had quit his job but that she shouldn't have to worry about it. Hime now understands that the job he left back then was his mangaka job and wonders why he did it. At the same time, near the warehouse, Kakushi's co-workers commented that he stopped making manga because he lost his popularity. He got frustrated and thought he could no longer make people laugh with his jokes. Furthermore, the fact that his tragic personal life was revealed to the public turned out to be a fatal blow to his profession as a comedy author. Kakushi is worried since 𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲 tells him that the editor-in-chief of the publishing house they work for wants to meet with him. This scares him, and he thinks that it may be to give him bad news that the manga series is going to be cancelled. He begins to imagine that he'll lose his reputation and income, then he'd be forgotten. When actually, his editor, 𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲, arranged this meeting just to secretly eat in a fancy restaurant for free. Kakushi tells his coworkers about his concern and decides his manga will end soon. So they choose to do their best to finish it all in the best way possible and go out with a bang. However, the chief editor does not want to end Kakushi's manga. Instead, he's delighted with his work after seeing Kakushi and his team's sudden spike of motivation. The confusion is sorted out. However, when 𝓗𝓷𝓽𝓪𝓲 finally explains to Kakushi that they are not ending his manga series, to the disappointment of his team, Hime's 11th birthday finally arrives, and she celebrates it with her dad and her friends. Back to the present, 18-year-old Hime remembers that birthday party. She looks at the gift box Kakushi had given her and the photos they took together that day. Hime gets a key with a map, and she decides to take a train to the place indicated on the map and find out what's there. 18-year-old Hime is thinking about everything she just found out about her father's secret and what he did for a living. As Hime stretches, she's approached by a boy who tells her that his mother is Kakushi's half-sister. At the same time, near the warehouse, Kakushi's co-workers are commenting on how Kakushi was crushed by a box full of manga. They also remember that things were terrible for him financially after he quit drawing and that he had to sell the house he lived in since he had no savings. It turns out that Kakushi had been using them to search for his wife, who was reported missing shortly after Hime's birth. They also talk about why Kakushi decided to stop drawing manga due to the leak regarding his tragedy to the media. Hime's friends following her along with her teacher tell her that her father has regained consciousness. Hime quickly goes to the hospital to see her father, but he does not recognize her. The hit caused him to lose his memory from the last 7 years, and Kakushi only remembers Hime until she was 10 years old. Kakushi thinks he's still a mangaka and requests that they continue working on his manga series while he recovers. His friends and past coworkers all decide to pretend that they are still working under him and continue to draw manga in his hospital room. When he looks at Hime, Kakushi asks if she's the new assistant. Hime pretends to be her father's assistant for a while, thinking that it's for the best as she's never seen her father more happy when drawing manga. But when the two of them are finally alone, Hime mentions that drawing manga must be the most important thing for him. But Kakushi simply replies that, as a father, he would rather see Hime grow up happy and strong any day over manga. Hime suddenly realizes and gets an idea. She asks her friends for help. Together, they search for all the manga that Kakushi wrote 7 years ago and show them to him. After reading them, Kakushi manages to regain his memory and tries to hide his manga by reflex upon seeing Hime. In the end, with his secret finally lifted, Kakushi gets his inspiration again and tries to start a new raunchy series while Hime secretly hides the fact that she too likes to draw manga. And that was Kakushigoto Season 1. If you enjoyed this recap, remember to hit that sub, click the like button, and comment down below to let me know what you think of the series. I'll see you on the next video.